Society is dumber than ever. So we're back with some more Ancient Wisdom, episode 41. Today we're talking about why all the censorship. We're talking about, will race ever become old? Will it ever get old? And is this the end of our privacy? Guys, Ancient Wisdom starts now. Let's check in with our leaders, our unelected leaders at the World Economic Forum this year.
Ang turma chaya no kamahu anuri no kamai no kawaka na anuri no yuyua na wa shina bupanke
A certain race of people might not appreciate the symbolism.
Yeah, she got sued by the ADL.
Unelected world leaders.
She was just coughing at everybody.
Yeah. That was weird. I mean, 6 feet, am I right?
I was going to say, right after COVID. That's not
gross.
I got to say, you got to guide me through this one, Mitch.
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's much guide. Well, she just guided you.
What? I get it.
I think her spirit has guided you.
There's nothing to get, man. It's already God.
To give up your freedom to the World Economic Forum.
She blessed
cast
the whole
a spell
ceremony.
On you. I miss the days of freedom in America. Native Americans, fresh rivers. Oh, but we still got it. All right? Nobody's going to tell me that we don't.
Oh, do you laugh? I block you. Yes.
Freedom. I mean, maybe Peter would be mad a little bit, but
Hold on.
The horse is struggling.
Those horses are lazy anyway. They need to work out. And you could tell, I mean,
Oh, do you laugh?
they're probably on the island somewhere, so they don't have any rules against this. They'll take whatever money they could get.
Right, they'll abuse their horses for $20.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any like continental in America, you can't be doing that. I've heard people get kicked out if they're over a certain weight. Those look like small horses,
That
too.
horse was struggling, man.
Yeah, he was not having a good time. Here's a newly resurfaced video of everybody's favorite mayor, Eric Adams, telling you how to parent, frankly.
If you look through it closely, you don't know what your child may be hiding. For instance, a gun could be hidden, a small caliber weapon could be hidden inside a jewelry box. Look at the various colognes and perfumes and photos and pictures. You should always, when your child brings in his popular knapsack with many different locations, look through it to see what exactly is your child carrying in addition to a book. Something simple as a crack pipe, a used crack pipe.
Something simple as a crack pipe.
That's pretty simple.
I guess so.
Discussion piece where you should start speaking with him to find out what is he doing with it and the whole use of drugs.
This music
this
is all
invokes
scary.
conversations. Look at picture frames and behind them, cameras. Try to determine what's taking place.
All the anti-drug.
Behind the picture frame, you can find bullets.
That's my favorite one. Behind the picture frame, you can find bullets.
Could be just a baby doll, but also it could be a place where you can secrete or hide drugs.
You heard you could secrete your drugs.
Behind your baby doll?
That's unusual.
Something tells me that's not the phrase.
With a button is a
Oh, you could hide it in the pillow? Dude, he's just giving me ideas.
I felt something
Dude, I learned a lot in this video.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot.
This
What? Why is it so silly to me? But this is like every single mother in New York. All right, let's get into it. This is the real show. Last week, when I asked ChatGPT, I says, was God the first liar in the Bible? Remember this one from last week?
Yes, I thought it was long. Man, time flies.
Oh my God, seems controversial at first. Maybe it is, right? Because ChatGPT hit me back with, oh, that's a sensitive subject. You can't talk about that. Oh, I'm sorry. Religion is a sensitive topic, and it might hurt people's feelings. So right off the bat, I'll ask you guys, first thoughts. What is a sensitive issue? What even is that? What does that mean?
What about it? It's an insensitive statement. Tells people it reveals flaws about their way of understanding the world.
Right.
Because God, if you don't believe in God all your life, and then you realize at 70 that you do, then you might have some sort of like regrets, being upset for wasting your life, if that's your perspective at the time.
So you guys would agree, right? So then what would constitute hurting of your feelings? Like, does anything actually get to you?
Fat is a good example, but it depends on who you're asking, right? Like maybe you have a good friend, he doesn't care if he like looks fat to you. You could say, hey, Poe, you look fat. I'm like, all right, Mitch, that's cool. Like I always looked fat to you. Like
You're always telling me this.
But what if you like grip on something a little deeper on that person? What if you're like, Poe, you're not working on the things you should be. Something a little deeper. Maybe there's more value. There's more value in things that actually, kind of like squeeze people.
Right.
If you give them an opinion that squeezes them, they'll really listen to it. If you give them an opinion that's like, oh, you should wear a different swimsuit, you should look better, it's not going to hold gravity to them.
Where's the line for you then, you would say?
If you tell me something that's going to change my life, if you tell you're like, oh, you should lose weight. I'm like, all right, I live in Connecticut. I don't really care.
That's interesting.
If I'm going to lose weight here,
So change your life in the way, like maybe would you say that something you didn't previously know, like I have awakened a flaw about you that you didn't know?
Sure, that's the one that might actually take pause.
Yeah,
I'll pause and listen.
Should I be angry right now?
Yeah. No, maybe I should be
I
happy.
Get upset?
Yeah.
Or should I be happy?
Yeah. I'll stop. I'll be angry for a bit. I'll be angry for a bit because you brought something to my attention I wasn't aware of.
Right.
Human reaction will just be like, screw this guy.
Yeah.
Who does he think he is? That's just human nature. But then when you dwell on it and think about it, you're like, he's my friend. He's trying to, improve me. He's trying to tell me something that I should really think about.
That's very interesting because especially a lot with women, but people in general, it's like, what is his intent? I'll say a lot of it is based on the intent.
You nailed it.
What do you mean? Oh, what's that?
I think that's the main message. It's insensitive has been subverted from being just something helpful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like me saying you're getting a little fat is actually very helpful to you, but because it invokes people to get mad at first, especially if it's a protected group or a protected class or something
interesting.
like that. Because you can say insensitive things about white people any day because they're not a protected class.
Oh, man.
But as soon as it's a certain protected class, then it becomes insensitive.
That's interesting. That's how Satan made down into up, right?
Yep.
It's like you're protected class because maybe what you're doing is wrong, like the fat people. And then instead, we boost them. We put them on the cover of magazines and say you're great. But yeah, the intent I come back to a lot. What does he mean when he says that? Oh, so you're better than me, right? That's always the reaction. I see. Oh, but you're a little fat too. Huh?
What about you?
Too okay? And it makes me think about censorship in general because I think the translation for a lot of this stuff is like, you can't talk about it because I don't want anyone to know. I think we're not at the bottom line yet, but we're getting there, right? Like, don't call me fat because that's a secret. Shh.
Yeah, it disrupts their
as if everybody don't already know.
Why is religion sensitive?
It's like, but if you believe in it, that's fine. Or the opposite, right? I said, was God the first liar? It's just a factual question. Is it yes or is it no? How is that sensitive that I want to know a yes or no answer?
Here it is. Discussions about religion can touch on emotions, identity, and worldview.
Oh, those are the words!
Making it a topic that requires thoughtful and respectful communication.
Yo, I hate that. Why do I need to care about your beliefs? That's another question. You guys ever thought about that? Why do I need to care what you believe? I think that's where it all really comes from. It's like, I don't want you to put me in jail forever. So I have to kind of care about what you believe about me.
I have to pretend that I care.
Yeah, I have to pretend
the worst kind.
That I care about you. But, I think now it's mostly about reputation and stuff. I want you to think I'm the good, which is funny because I have here, everyone's afraid of conflict, right? We don't want to start conflict by someone misinterpreting what we're saying. But yet these same people are the ones that get us into all the wars. Mostly because they're not the ones fighting and they could benefit off of it. But yeah, I think for the most part now, reputation is currency. You want the best reputation. You're not that great. Lying is an easy way to get there. But really, at the root of it all, is you don't want to be shunned like ancient cultures. You don't want to be shunned because when we were tribes, when we were hunter-gatherers, do you know this, Evan? Do you know this, fans? That it was just a wandering nomadic group. And if you were bad, they didn't even kill you because you were kin. You were one of them. You were kin. You were family.
Oh, Ken.
Kin.
Oh, Ken, not Keen.
Not kin. You were kin. So they couldn't possibly stab you, but they could leave you to die. You don't have the help of the tribe anymore. When down is up, we just want to be loved for being evil. We know we're pieces of shit, so we have to lie. For you to think that I'm great and I'm not great, the only logical explanation is for me to lie. Oh, motherfuckers. Evan's gonna talk to us about, will race talks ever get old?
I'm curious if you guys believe in a Eurasian alliance. And well, let me give you some background
It
first.
could never be.
There's this guy I follow on X named the Eurasian
Look at these
Emperor.
guys.
The Eurasian Emperor, he's just always preaching about wanting to, the future of the world will be a Asian and European descent, like a clan.
Oh, okay. I'm with it.
I just thought that was a funny meme because it came true, what he wanted, basically.
Oh, but my next link disproves that. Poge, if you would hit the next one.
This link disproves it.
Look at this.
Oh.
Look at how they interact. Go from the beginning again. Look at this. Weird. They're shaking each other, like they're shaking the hell out of each other. He's whispering, "Don't fuck with me." And he's like, I'm gonna be in front. That's a fake laugh. Look at this. What is going on? And he goes for one more grab of the neck. What is happening here?
Thank you.
Was that not a weird ass interaction? Play it one more time.
Pretty good.
That was like
What is going on?
I do know that Trump always tries to take the dominant position when, like, meeting world leaders.
For sure. He's still holding his arm. You see that? For way too long. Slaps that are really hard. He didn't say anything funny.
I'm not too
one
sure.
more.
One more. Doesn't that feel weird? Look at it. The arm, the slaps. He's got the top. He's got the bottom.
I think it's,
Pulls him in.
And Trump is already like pushing him away.
Yeah. Hey,
Trump
just
is
do
like,
your
"All right,
fucking
enough
thing.
for
Yeah.
you."
Look at that huge smile. Trump's like, you son of a bitch.
I just think Trump wants him to know
Thank
who is in charge.
Wow,
So-
that-
I think
How
they
was
both
that?
want the
Pretty
other
good,
dude to
right?
know who's in charge.
That was pretty good, and he's a
Vivek was trying to give it to him too.
Well, I ask if will talking about race ever get old because I was exposed to a lot of African American culture this past week.
Oh, interesting culture.
If you would click on the "We Was Jesus" link, please.
Are you
Poge.
enriched?
So have you guys heard of Lil Nas X?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I have heard.
The guy who got a lap dance by Satan.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
gave Satan a lap dance, rather.
Yes.
So his new album called J Christ. It launched.
What is that symbolism?
It launched on January 14th, and then you could go right to the next link too.
Made an album called J. Christ? That's the cover?
The Gabriel and Guns link is what I named it. So I think he's trying to go
That's the album cover.
Wow. Oh, I didn't even see the guns down there.
and the third link.
Certainly.
It says, "And y'all was silent" in the title. So now he's being crucified in this one.
Oh, this is the next
So
step.
these are
in
all his
crucif-
phases of crucifixion in his album.
Wow.
Yep. I brought this up in the talking about race ever grow old because I think back to the protected groups earlier, I think he'll always be able to talk about Jesus because it's a white thing. I think the white people who get so offended by this and think of it as insensitive, because people are freaking out on his ex. They're like, man, this N is sick. You know, all this stuff.
Like they're mad at him?
Yeah,
or?
they're mad. They're bashing his Twitter account or
That's
whatever.
weird. But then you realize that's kind of the goal. Is that's why everything's being race swapped now, is because they're trying to take all of our stuff. Because we was Romans.
I think
I don't get it. It's like a weird sick thing. Like if the white man has anything, it needs to be ours. I don't know why they could play all these weird cards like, oh no, we're just expanding for a modern audience.
But yeah, I think if the white people just reacted and laughed it off or didn't react at all, it wouldn't be as sensationalized as it is. Because
Yeah,
people
very
are freaking
true.
out. It's becoming a big story over people's reactions because they're so sensitive about it.
Wow, that's so true, man. How sensitivity can really go beyond it all. Because I was just recently thinking about that stupid documentary, What is a Woman? And I'm like, yo, y'all don't realize that does more harm than good. Think about it. You know, the boomers are like, yeah, ha, owning the left, we showed them you gotta have a vagina to be a woman.
It's got to be one or the other.
One or the other, damn it, I know that since I was born. Jesus himself told me that. It's like, yeah, but you're still playing into it, dummy. Please. You're still fucking buying into it, playing into this game as if we didn't know that.
Yeah.
As if we didn't already know what you're buying into it. You're playing into their hand.
It's
and
not a
you're giving
heroic.
them fuel.
Yeah, it's not a heroic act
Yeah.
to declare
God
whatever.
damn it, I know. Yeah, everybody knows in the heart. Everyone always have known. And the thing is, if you pretend as if that's not true and you're making a statement against it, you're causing the problem, bro. I'm sorry. I know you get your boomer nut off because of it, but dog, think about it for a second. Every force has an equal and opposite reaction.
My next question about race is, which is the supreme racial combo? And let me preface that by saying,
What?
The Eurasian Alliance, the more people mix and intermingle the type of offspring they have, people are not going to be about the white thing, the black thing, the Asian thing. It's going to be like, oh, well, Indian and American is definitely the coolest combo. You know, everyone's just going to be
there's
so...
always something. Communism doesn't work. It's an amazing system. Communism is so good. It's perfect. Everyone's equal. My God, heavenly. But there's a big but, y'all. It's ran by you, dumbass. And you're a human and you suck. So it will never work. It will never work.
Yeah.
Because you're human and you suck and you're always going to be victim to human nature. And if you don't see that, ooh, look within, guys. Ancient wisdom, it's about looking within. Quick theories, I'm going to say all the white gamer nerds right now are marrying all the Asians. You know, or the passport bros. We got the white gamer nerds and the passport bros. Sometimes they're one and the same. Sometimes they're different. But either way, that's like a huge group right now too.
That makes a nice gene. That's a nice gene pool too. Those people have very nice skin.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna have the best skin around.
Yeah,
Just
full
a
Asian
half-
takeover.
Just a
All
full
Asian?
Asian.
Well, I
Dang.
think that will be the prized.
Yeah.
The prized bloodline.
That's true. I know anyone in America
is.
is gonna be the most
I think
disgusting.
it already is. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Dang.
I think if anyone has any sense, and they're gonna mix races, it's gonna be a white guy going to Asia. But everything left in America is just gonna be mutant, disgusting monsters.
That's fine, but everything else is
Yeah.
an abomination.
Everything else is gonna be an abomination.
Indian people fully embracing American culture is like the best human, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because Vivek's a great guy. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the only example that comes to mind right away. But you know, you judge him by their fruits. Everything he's said so far, I
you
can't
know
really
what?
deny.
Facts, dude. So I'm gonna hit you with a hot take. Let me know what you guys think about this, right? I think an Indian who assimilates to American culture right now is probably the closest thing we have to the founding fathers. Now, hear me out. It's people who have the American spirit, have the conservative work ethic, but it's not so conservative that they're like Muslim, you know, where it's just like oppressively conservative.
Right.
And they still can, and they could thrive under the freedom that America allows because it's not shitty India.
And it's the voice is amplified because he's a foreigner.
Right.
And his name is so foreign that like he's a protected
almost right.
class basically. It's like, oh, you can't make fun of Indian people.
Genius. Well, I agree. We got to the bottom of it, y'all. That's genius. So true. You can have white values, but can't have a white name. Boom.
That's the way this to succeed.
Wow, dude. That's the new recipe for success.
Name your white kid
Genius.
something so foreign. and he'll be
Vivek
good.
Swami, my friend.
What if you name
And
your
always
white
call him
kid-
my friend. But he'll just be like, he'll be me. Like, what?
What if you name your white kid fully white Vivek or something Indian?
I think that's the secret.
I think it's
And then you could
hilarious.
check the boxes on all the forms and stuff. You're good. You're
Right.
good.
And you
Free
could
tuition.
If anyone tries to question you, you just go full blast on them.
Yeah. Bro, I'm a protected.
Just because I don't have the color of the skin you think.
It's extra points if you get the accent right.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm a rare albino, indigenous, upside down Indian. Y'all wouldn't understand. Y'all can't make fun of me. I'm a protected of the protected. I'm on a reservation even back there.
There was a story you told me years ago where you were next door to a black guy and a bunch of other white guys, or a white guy said, you know, the black guy next door, describing the situation merely.
Yeah, that's the punchline. I got a neighbor. He's a black guy. And yeah, he's really nice. But he's black. But wow, what a friend. He's so friend. Like,
what a
dog,
friend.
what?
What a friend. But I'm embarrassed about it.
But he's black. And I'm like, bro, he knows. What are you hiding? It's like, I don't know. It's maybe even more apparent than the fat thing we were talking about. You think he doesn't know? You think he doesn't know he's black? He knows. Right. It's not a secret. You don't have to whisper it.
And my conclusion, that helps my conclusion, because my conclusion is you will always need to describe somebody.
Oh, yes.
But we're so guilty by not being a protected class nowadays that we find the mere fact of describing somebody.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
As risque.
That's right. Wow. We did it, y'all. All right, let's move on to translating some Tao, shall we? Oh, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Mitch translates the Tao, chapter 23. Rarity of speech is natural to self. Fierce winds don't last all morning, and sudden rains don't last all day. Who causes this? Heaven and earth. Heaven and earth cannot endure. Is man any different? Therefore, he who lives according to the Tao becomes the Tao. The virtuous person becomes one with virtue. A person of loss becomes one with loss. One who becomes the Tao rejoices. One who becomes virtue rejoices. And one who becomes loss rejoices. Where faith is insufficient, it inspires no faith.
Wow. I have no idea what that last line means. That's so complex.
Man, that might be the only one I have a clue about. I don't even know.
I'm lost on that one.
So let me start off by saying that there's this idea of loss, and it's treated positively, so it seems. Now, this ancient Chinese character speaks of loss, yes, but I suppose I might even translate it as a loss of self, or perhaps letting go, if that helps at all.
Yeah, I could see that, except for the last line. I don't know what I see, but it just, it encourages you to realize that nothing stays the same.
Good lesson to learn. Poj, what do you got?
I hear that, oh man, so many of these Taos, we've talked about rejecting self. And this is a Tao that cannot be separated from self. This Tao is all in the self. This Tao is talking about what you desire, that is what you are. That is what I'm getting from this Tao. If you imagine it, that is what you will be. You got to walk the walk to talk the talk. That's what this Tao is saying to me.
Heaven and earth cannot endure. Is man any different? We know we're going to die. We cannot endure. There is no way out. Live the Tao, be the Tao. You are what you eat. There's a big thing there too, right?
Exactly.
Set yourself for the day, I like to think about.
Mm-hmm. Is it because sometimes heaven wins and sometimes earth wins?
That could be cool too, right?
Because I don't know what that means, like they can't endure. Heaven and earth cannot endure, because I see that as there's never any victor. Like there's never, none of them can endure, so it's like a futile battle that goes on forever. You know, the earth might erupt a volcano and put ash in the sky for years. Well, not years, but maybe a comet would do that. But and then the heavens can ruin the earth by inclement weather and rain and destruction, hurricanes, tornadoes, and there really never is any victor. It kind of just happens, kind of like the things in our life.
I like that. Yeah, it just happens. Maybe you can't explain it. You don't know why. Much like fierce winds don't last all morning and sudden rains don't last all day. Everything is limited. They're the eye of the storm, you know. Everything will come to an end. every morning has a night, perhaps. But it's always late in this Tao with like breaking the two into one. I heard this fun thing about the Tao and sort of ancient thought numerology from Carl Jung, talking about that two, from a certain perspective, is actually the first number. Because 0's not a number and 1 is nothing. There's no distinction. So perhaps 2 is actually the first one. So it seems to define 2 as 1, and even vice versa. And of course, the big line at the end, where faith is insufficient, it inspires no faith. Usually how this goes, the format of the Tao, the big conclusion at the end talks about what it was talking about. Typically, right? But this one, I don't know, it's very funny. Where faith is insufficient, it feels like just a statement of fact. Like, hey, if you don't have any faith, no one around you is going to believe. They're going to know. I think this is also a message of calling people's BS. I think you could tell people's spirit. You could tell when people, if you're in tune with that spirit, I would say. Right?
I think this is why I was saying, like, this is a self-focused Tao. Most of them talk about how to live with yourself in the world. I feel like this one is talking about how to just live with yourself.
I could see that.
Yeah. It's literally telling you if you have no faith, it will inspire no faith. I do a lot of this checklist stuff with the Tao. I'm noticing, like,
you kind of have to.
I interpret the Tao like it's like directions to life, and I feel like this chapter is directions to yourself. Dealing with yourself is the chapter I'm looking at.
Yeah, because I take it as like even it takes faith to even be good, because it's always easier to be bad. But Tao is telling you that the bad way is not even worth it. Like, I think you need a certain amount of faith to know, whatever that may mean or be, to know that the evil way is not worth it. Whatever that means to you, there's something deep about that. I think that's also what it's saying as well. Because why not do the evil way? Why not be convenient? Why not sell my soul to the World Economic Forum? Why not have a digital bank currency? Like, it's easy. Who's to say? But the easy way isn't always the best way, and something about faith tells us that.
Now you made me think that it's convincing us that the Tao is who you really are. It's
that's a hot one.
Your true self.
That's cool.
Because if you are at one of the extremes of human nature, like a really violent serial killer, or like a very weak, timid, pathetic person. No, I'll change that. Maybe the opposite, like overly do-gooder type of thing.
Okay, yep.
And a serial killer type of personality. Eventually, that crazy psycho killer personality, they're going to have a breaking point where they break down and cry and repent of all the evil stuff they did. Maybe.
Even if they're not psychopathic. Yeah.
Right. Even if it's close to death. But that's because it was abnormal for them to ever go to the extreme anyways. They knew that they already know the healthy balance.
Yeah.
That life should be lived in accordance with.
Man, it's cool. I like that it's telling you about yourself the way that it already is. That's eternally deep for me, because it's just telling you what it is. It's not even a roadmap. It's like, hey, this is what it is. If you're evil and you're not psychopathic, or if you make the wrong decisions, you will feel it in one way or another. You will feel it in your friends, in your family, in yourself, in your outcomes. It always comes back to bite you. Of course, there are those psychopaths who don't have any like capability of feeling these sort of things, but maybe they're just life before the Garden of Eden.
Well, you don't inspire faith that way either, like the Tao says.
The bottom line. Yeah, boom. I like it.
When you're that kind of personality, you're never gonna inspire faith in anybody. I mean, just look at the leaders of the world. They don't inspire faith in anybody.
Oh my God!
Because they're not with the Tao. You could say they're either heaven or earth.
Bro, and you know what? It's more fucking marketing, because the first link that we brought up of the Native American at the World Economic Forum, it's sheer marketing. Hey, spirituality. Hey, look at Native Americans. That's us. We're about the Tao. We're about love and spirit. Just like I think last year we showed those Freak 2 singers that they had going on.
The convenience and laziness thing you're talking about earlier too, when people who see that, the Native American woman chanting, they see that and they love that.
Like, wow.
That's laziness of context clues. Like, they don't understand. Their true thought is, wow, that's so wonderful that they got an authentic Native American to chant in Switzerland at their meeting where all these billionaires flying on their jet. That's so nice.
Have some common sense.
These are good people here.
And when down is up, you're probably wrong because you're stupid. You are a person who is flawed in this world. So if you want to know where the devil is, do the opposite of your instinct and you'll usually be fine. Don't listen to the World Economic Forum freaks because they're the essence of that. Break the conditioning and return to our little program here. Ancient Wisdom, episode 41.